Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Sounders FC Roundtable. Arlo White, Matt Gash, Tony Ventrella, good to see you. I know what you're saying. These guys are so well attired. You've got the jacket that's, I think, the warm version, isn't it?
It's pretty warm.
You've got a coat that makes you fairly warm, and I'm wearing a bright yellow jersey. But I'll tell you why. Are we not 3-0 in the electric jersey?
I believe we are, Tony.
Yeah, well, there you go.
The latest victory, the 2-0 over LA Galaxy, wasn't it, in the US Open Cup? Boca Juniors were dispatched, and Portland as well. I think they look good.
Sunday against Celtic, are we not wearing the electric jersey?
Are, Tony.
All right. All right, that's our show for today. Thanks. Let's talk about what's going on. World Cup. You guys satisfied, happy with the who was in the final and how it ended? We'll start with you.
I liked the drama of the final. I thought it was a very dramatic conclusion to what was a pretty good World Cup tournament. I think if there was one thing I think that was kind of the staple of the tournament, it was drama, and I think the final played out that way. And you know, good to see Spain winning. I think that's the team everyone maybe expected, and it's good to see that they're rewarding the best team in the world, and I think that's what this is designed for, and I think Spain is that team, and you know, I was happy with it generally. I was in a great crowd though, so you know, we had about 500-600 at Fisher Pavilion. It was a great time over in Seattle Center.
Fantastic. I agree with the latter part of Matt's point. For once, I'm going to disagree with him. For what he said earlier, I thought it was a terrible final. I thought it was a really sorry, Matt. Sorry. See you later. It's so just so disappointing. And going into that game, Tony, you've got two teams there, and you just hoped going in that both teams would want to win the cup, as opposed to having the fear overtake them of losing the cup. Now, Spain went in to win it. Holland went in not to lose it, and they used roughhouse tactics, Van Bommel, De Jong. It was a terrible game to referee for Howard Webb, the Englishman, the only Englishman that's ever going to make a World Cup final, I think, for the next 30 years or something. So the game as a spectacle was poor, and I'm so happy in the end that the best team, the more positive team, won without the use of penalty kicks. They won it not in regulation, but in the 117th minute. I mean, Holland could have had a chance of snatching it, and that would have been a travesty. I'm such a shame, because I've always been a Holland fan. They played total football in the 70s, but it was almost anti-football in that final, which was a bad end to what was, like you say, Matt, a great one.
I like that you mentioned the referee. I turned to a guy about 4 minutes into the game after seeing this referee, and I said, this guy's not going to take anything from anybody. This is going to be fun to watch that guy. And sure enough, I mean, he kind of stole the show, didn't he? Yeah,
well, he didn't have a choice, did he? 14 yellow cards, I think. Two of them to the same guy, Heitinger, who was sent off. Just a horrible game to referee, not a great game to watch, but the tournament was great. I miss it already. And I'm really happy we had a game against FC Dallas later that day. Just to sort of keep up the fix of soccer.
And just briefly, South Africa as a host.
Very good. They were... I was down there for 2 weeks, obviously. There were lots of issues and speculation before the tournament, because security is a problem in South Africa. It's not a particularly safe place to go if you're a tourist. You have to keep your wits about you, use your common sense, don't go into certain areas at certain times of the day. But with a few isolated incidents, it passed off pretty well. You know, all the stadiums weren't full. Could they have given more tickets out maybe to local people to increase the attendances? The ever-present vuvuzelas, they were an issue. But it's like, I'd say this, Tony, if you ever had a baseball World Cup, I know there's the World Baseball Classic, isn't there? Not sure how big that is. But
much renowned.
It's kind of a March thing, it kind of flies under the radar, doesn't it? But can you imagine having that tournament in America and banning hot dogs at ballparks?
No, it's
You couldn't do it. So if you're going to take a World Cup to South Africa, you have the vuvuzela, that's part of the football culture there. But as a host nation, the stadiums were great, and I think it went very well.
I'm going to tell you something, just a little funny, off the subject briefly. I'm out in my backyard, and there's a swarm of bees. And for a second, I was at the World Cup. No, seriously, that's what I thought of. It was the day, I'm going, this sounds kind of like World Cup. Boy, I bet you're glad we shared that with you. FC Dallas, 1-1. They score in the 88th minute to tie it. We're down a man for 31 minutes. Not a crushing blow. I mean, there's 14 games left to go here. But boy, that would have been a sweet win.
It would have been, and it took something special, Matt, didn't it, at the end by David Ferreira, who I think is one of the best players in Major League Soccer. He's a terrific talent, and it was a great volley, and Casey had done everything. He'd repelled them, that great right-handed save from Ferreira's header earlier in the game, but in the end, that piece of magic was just enough to claw, once again, claw Dallas back to get a tie late on, as they did at Pizza Hut Park. But Yeah, it's not too late, Matt, is it? There's plenty of time left in the season, but that 3 points would have been nice.
Infusion of lots of young talent. And it turns out Miguel Montano comes in, plays a decent to good match, and then gets the red card and probably helps lead to the defeat. But nonetheless, the infusion of young talent, what do you think of it?
It was great. It was good to see him, Mike Seaman. Those two combined really well throughout the game. You know, I think I'd like to see them work better with the other side of the field, maybe a little more. But to see those two guys and to see how well they work together and how they didn't have any fear. I mean, from the opening minute, Miguel Montano is going hard at his man. He's doing everything you'd expect him to do, everything we see him do in training every day. And it was great to see him carry that over onto the field in a meaningful game.
One of the things that stood out for me, they were so positive. They had the energy of youth, but also set pieces they took quickly.
Yeah.
So the goal came from a free kick, quick thinking, taken quickly, out to the right-hand side to Riley. He crosses it in for Montero, and Dallas didn't have any chance to regroup. So there was more urgency about the Sounders, and hopefully that's what they can take from that game. Urgency, enthusiasm, energy, and let's take that into the final 14 games.
Do we expect to see Ziggy go with a similar, if not exact, lineup in D.C.?
Outside of Miguel Montano, because he'll miss the game with the red card, I would expect probably a similar lineup. I think he saw in that group everything he wanted to see, everything he hoped to see out of that group: the energy, the enthusiasm, the forward thinking, the positive soccer, everything that he wanted to see. He saw. I think I would be shocked if he didn't go with a similar lineup.
Well, let me ask you this: 14 games to go in MLS, 5 points out of playoff contention as we speak today. How many of these matches do we need to win to make the playoffs? Has anyone done the math on that? I'm sure it depends on how other teams do as well. But
Ziggy set a points target of 45, so we need another 29. Right. So you're looking at now just about 2 points a game, if not slightly more, aren't you?
Well, no, that
from
would be more,
14 games. So look, it's going to be tough. 10 wins gets you there. 10 wins out of the 14. Blaise Kufo arrives. He may be in DC. Whether he plays or not is a different issue. You know, to say for a team that's 4, 8 and 4, to win 10 out of the last 14 games is going to be tough. But Real Salt Lake had a good run last year. Dallas had a good run after a terrible start last year. It was only the defeat at Quest Field that knocked them out of playoff contention. LA had a good late run. So if they can put a string of results together, look, it's not too late. This is going to be a thrill ride. It's going to be a roller coaster over the last few weeks because they've got nothing to lose. So they've got to play positive football to go out and win football matches. So that in itself is going to be exciting.
And you go back, just like you were talking about the World Cup final, Dutch playing not to lose. Sounders FC cannot play not to lose at this point. They got to throw all caution.
Got to score goals, got to get the points, got to get back into contention.
Well, there you go. By the way, we're at Mad Pizza waiting for delivery of just some wonderful pizza here down at Starfire. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, but we'll have pizza anytime. It doesn't matter. Matt Gass, Carlo White, Tony Ventrella. We'll see you next time. Sounders FC Roundtable.